Hi, are you the guys who have come to tour around the kibbutz? My grandpa asked me to collect you from the station. Jump on my special tractor trailer and we'll be off in a minute. Maybe before we get to the kibbutz at the top of the hill, I'll tell you about how everything started here. Can you believe that when my grandpa and grandma arrived here, everything looked completely different?
On the night following Yom Kippur, October 6, 1946, Operation Negev began to establish 11 new outposts throughout the Negev. Remember, in the whole Negev, there wasn't even one Jewish settlement. From the settlement of Bet Eshel, 5 girls and 25 boys from the Palmach set out as a core pioneer group to settle at Hazerim. When they arrived, they discovered only a barren hilltop with just one acacia tree in a desolate desert. During that initial period, the pioneers worked hard to establish their settlement, and the laying of a water pipe allowed for agriculture. A year after the pioneers had arrived, water flowed through the pipeline for the first time, but the agricultural future of Hazerim's 600 dunams still looked uncertain. During development, many difficult problems arose: the ground salinity, water supply problems, almost no rainfall, droughts, and natural challenges such as locusts, sandstorms, and hot desert winds. All of these led to the crisis we know today as the salt crisis. Not because there was no salt in their food, but because nothing grew in the salty earth. The group worked very hard under almost impossible conditions, and nothing succeeded. The finance minister said it would be cheaper to host the Hazerim members in a hotel in Tel Aviv rather than support them in the Negev. My friends, many left the kibbutz in those years as the problems only worsened. Until 1959, members of the kibbutz were still asking themselves, to be or not to be. The question of Hazerim's existence was raised for discussion at the kibbutz movement, the settlement movements, and the government. It seemed that the salt problem was not only at Hazerim, it was in most of the Negev. David Ben-Gurion, the Prime Minister, participated in the kibbutz meeting and convinced the members to stay there and fight the problem. In a determined vote, 63 kibbutz members decided to hold on to the place and not to give up on their dream. Today, we all know that was the right decision. In the following 2 years, the land was successfully flushed of salt and crops were adapted, and to everyone's delight, the land began to bear fruit. Within a short time, agriculture had developed, which allowed the kibbutz to earn a decent living. Cultivated areas, green fields and fruit orchards covered the desert.
Who would have believed it? Did you see the picture of my grandpa on the tractor? And grandma by the water pipe? It really was a courageous group who gave everything towards the goal of a desert settlement. You see, when you have land but no water, you need to think twice. How would we make a living? And how would we join the industrial area? So Grandpa and Grandma and other members started out on the journey to find new ideas. After a few experiments, which weren't simple, a lot of hard work and a few drops of luck, they established Netafim.
In 1965, following the salt crisis, the kibbutz moved, as did most of the kibbutzim, into developing industry. After a long search, which included a factory for making Chinese dolls and a diamond polishing factory, the dripper arrived at Hazerim. With the help of Simcha Blas's invention, the world's first factory for the production of drippers and the marketing of drippers and irrigation systems was established at Hazerim. Netafim. Yes, right here on this little kibbutz in the Negev, the world's first drippers were produced, which led to a revolution in irrigation methods. The factory developed very quickly, much more than they had thought when it was established. It soon became clear that they were not just selling drippers and water systems, but also knowledge and experience from a new perspective of agriculture in the modern world. In the 1970s, partnerships were established with Kibbutz Magal and Kibbutz Iftach in order to meet the huge market demand. Today, Netafim is a global company and has representation in more than 110 countries. There are around 4,000 employees, 16 production facilities in 11 countries, and more than 27 subsidiaries. Do you remember? Here the first drippers in the world were developed, and today Netafim produces about 12 billion drippers a year and leads the world in the irrigation area. Netafim works towards finding smart, ecological, irrigation solutions to fight global food shortages, water scarcity, and soil erosion. Netafim's vision is to help the world grow more with fewer resources.
So, now do you understand how you can create a paradise in the desert from just 2 drops? You must have noticed all the green along the sides of the road. Yes, that's the jojoba plant. Here there were fields and different fruit orchards until the early 90s, when the jojoba plant arrived from the Mexican desert in Central America to Israel. Hazerim decided to take on the challenge and to acclimatize the plant in Israel. We already had experience with immigrants from South America, as well as a lot of knowledge in agriculture. Would you like to see what comes out?
Kibbutz Hazerim started growing jojoba in 1990, after adopting the development and growing methods developed by the scientific team at the Desert Research Institute. Seedlings grown in the Kibbutz Hazerim greenhouses were planted in the fields. The plantations are irrigated using recycled sewage water through drippers and assisted by the extensive agricultural knowledge mostly found at Hazerim and Netafim. Continuous research over years, including identifying and developing selected varieties, has led to the jojoba crop yield at Hazerim to rise to global heights. Hazerim has developed a mechanical system for gathering the seeds, and all the yield is collected mechanically, about 10 tons a day. Over the years, Hazerim has established a facility for the production of some of the best jojoba oil in the world, and Jojoba Israel, along with the company it owns, produce and market about 1,000 tons of jojoba oil a year, about 1/3 of the entire global amount produced.
Okay, we spent some time here and all we did was just talk about work. Yeah, we're pioneers and working people, but the kibbutz has other things worth taking a look at. Have you ever seen a Passover Seder for 1,200 people? Or how to divide a cake into equal parts for 400 members and 1,000 residents? Let's take a turn around the kibbutz and see how an old idea and new realities exist in the 21st century.
Kibbutz Hazerim today is one of the few remaining shared communities in the world which succeeds in maintaining a community based on equal partnership and shared values. Many bodies have been established on the kibbutz in order to support the ideal of a shared, equal life. Dining room, laundry, shared education, management institutes, committees, and general gatherings. All of these and others enable the community members to work towards the greater good whilst considering individual needs. Not to mention, of course, that we are talking about 400 kibbutz members and about 1,200 residents living from one shared account, with enough for each member's individual needs. Alongside the cowshed and the field crops, over the years a number of small special business ventures have developed, giving additional people the opportunity to show their talents as well as contributing to the community's economy. An example is the Sculpture Way, which extends in the desert area around the kibbutz. Developed together with the Jewish National Fund, kibbutz members Marga and Israel Fishstein have created a park with 40 large sculptures made from stone and metal, which is a popular visitor attraction. Collective education is still alive and kicking, and aside from children's houses and kindergartens, Hazerim has the Neve B'Midbar, or Desert Oasis Elementary School, which is open to additional populations and has 300 pupils from 1st to 7th grade. The understanding that a rich and diverse community life is the key to a happy life fills the kibbutz year with celebrations and festivals involving all members of the community. The contribution to society at large has always been a kibbutz value, and today many of the kibbutz members and Netafim employees are involved in a wide range of voluntary activities. Hazerim is a collective kibbutz, which has remained loyal to its values, but also retains the ability to change in the face of development in the modern world. This is no small feat, and Hazerim has been doing it successfully for the past 70 years.
You might ask, how can such a small group create such a big change in the world? Honestly, I also didn't believe it at first, but my grandfather and grandmother did. They were the ones who planted the first seed in the ground on the hill, and you know the rest is written in the pages of history. I'm sure you want to see these things with your own eyes, so hurry up, as the tour leaves in just a minute. Have fun, and we'll meet on top of the hill, the Aliyah Hill, That's where everything started.